Hello everyone. That's really loud. Welcome to today's chatting stream. I'm Sanish here trying to set up a second or third multi-stream output with stream.place, and it is not working. So we're gonna strip that and delete. Oh fuck. Second. I'm deleting things by mistake. Don't mind me. Cancel that. Post that. Okay. All right, stream.place. Not this time. Maybe? Probably should have tested before going live. Haha. Well, you know what? That disable monitoring. I feel like I'm messing up my audio buttons. That's probably fine. So today's stream, I'm Sanish. I'm here to chat about some travel, past and future. I've got a couple photos, honestly, 4 photos, 4 whole photos. I feel like I'm missing something pretty important. I'm here, you're here. Stream.place, not here. Let me start that. Let me start writing that down. Hidden layer. iPad. So for those who don't know, which is most people, stream.place is a attempted like a federated streaming service alternative to Twitch and YouTube, and Twitch announced some pretty questionable AI moves today, and so it's kind of getting a little bit of traction, but you know what, didn't work. And so we are, first off, let me move myself over here. There we go. Now I'm looking at myself instead of looking off to the right. So put a big X through that. Didn't work. Stream.place. I'll fiddle with it later, maybe, possibly, and see if I can get it going there. Honestly, the hard part is getting chat integrated, because I'm using one tool to integrate chat for stream and Steam, Twitch and YouTube. Also, I need to move myself a little bit. My right here, that visually is lining up absolutely perfectly with my with my overlay, and it's causing some deep questions about myself. So what are we chatting about today? First, I got my notes here. I didn't actually fill them out. I have an outline. So we're gonna talk about past travel. Namely, I spent a week in California, or as people from California call it, or people not from California call it, Cali, which I would never be caught dead calling it, NorCal. There we go. Gotta specify that. And then we talk about future travel, which is causing me a bunch of grief right now. We've got Tromso and Vietnam. Talk about those two briefly, and how that's causing me unnecessary grief. And then some other random topics. Misc topic. I hope everyone's been having a great week. I'm at about I'll make a note here. Status is 30% chance of layoffs. There's a good chance I get laid off my job next week. See, that happens. That's life, though. Actually, I kind of want to get laid off, as bad as it sounds. Because if I get a severance package, that would be lovely. If all my coworkers get laid off and get severance packages and I have to pick up and do all of their work, sounds unpleasant. So let's talk about this past travel. First off, I'm still recovering from someone coming into chat day before, and saying that I look like a different orange-haired cat boy VTuber. And I'm like, I said I look like a cat boy. It's not the same, everybody. It's not the same. All right, recovery done. Also, that cat boy VTuber is probably like half my age, which is also like, I do look young. I moisturize with my K beauty routine. Born to take care of your skincare. So where was I this weekend? I went to 2 places. I went to 2 places in California. I went to visit my parents in the foothills of California. So let me draw you a map. Let's draw a map. Here's California. And then, honestly, I'm not sure what it looks like at the bottom end. Probably like peters out to Mexico, something like that. Mystery. This is a mystery down here. Who knows? San Diego somewhere. Mexico's down here somewhere. Baja California's down here. Oh, you know what? You know what? That's not. I know what my problem. It goes down, cut over, we hit Santa Barbara, and then we kind. Wow, what does the bottom half of California look like? Sorry, as I pull up Google Maps here, as I need to know this answer for myself. Spent half my life in California, and okay, I was. You know what? I made a valiant effort. California comes down, hooks a right at Santa Barbara to LA, and kind of goes like this, and then over. We got some river nonsense. We hit Tahoe, and we go straight shot over. All right, perfect. California. I went to two places. One, here's the bay. So here's like right there. We have San Francisco. Up here. So up here, we have Tahoe. Lake Tahoe. Big lake, deep lake, blue lake. I lost viewers. I lost chat. It's fine. I visited my parents right here in Nevada City, which has caused unending grief in my entire life, saying Nevada City and people not realizing that it is in California, not in the state of Nevada. And then over here in Petaluma. So two places I went: Petaluma, home to Lagunitas Brewery, which is probably the most famous beer coming out of the Petaluma area, compared to Russian River Brewing and Old Rasputin up in Fort Bragg. Russian River Brewing, of course, does not distribute outside of California anymore, so stop, cry. All right, so what was I doing? Why was I in California? First off, it was like 95 degrees. It was 95 degrees, which I don't know if you can make some assumptions here. That is too warm, too hot. So first review one, too hot. California, too hot. I live up here. I live here in Washington, so far north. So I was in Nevada City for 5 days. That was incidental. The main event was down at a family reunion in Petaluma. Now, this has been like, in my mind, I'm not a family forward Fox boy. It's been about a year since I last saw most of my family. Turns out more like 4 years. So it's been about 4 years since I saw my family. So I flew down, went to California, went to Petaluma. Already at the Petaluma. So I was in Petaluma for a family reunion. It was about 25 people. 20 people? Somewhere in that range, a couple dozen people in the backyard of my aunt's house. The reason ostensibly being, one, my uncle got married to his partner in January in Hawaii, destination wedding, / they live there. And then he came back to California to invite the locals, vis-a-vis his extended family, to come celebrate his wedding to his partner. It was lovely. It was great. Also, my grandfather's like 88 years old. Parkinson's, in assisted living. Might have been his last family event. Yikes. So that was another reason to have the family event. It kind of got us all there. So that was Nevada City. I'll go through the with the Fox Boy family tree looks like in a moment. I'll show you that now. I can do that now. No, don't do it. First, we went to what's down here? Nevada City. Nevada City is also known in the California Gold Country, founded in 18-something. It is a small mountain community, about 2,000 people, nestled in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. It is famous for the Empire Gold Mine. It is up the road from Placerville, where the gold rush began. Placers being pieces of gold you just kind of find in the water. without needing to mine them. It had the longest running and most productive gold mine in California, I believe. That gold mine is now, of course, flooded with water, heavy metals, and death. Classic gold mine. My family moved to Nevada City in 1954 or thereabouts. My grandparents did. Bought a house, 1-bedroom house, outhouse situation, fixed it up, built it. My mom grew up there. Mom left. Mom and dad moved back recently. Grandmother lived there for 60, 70 years. Nevada City's kind of, I went there every summer, every other Christmas. Spent a lot of time in the town, but didn't go to like high school there or anything. Probably the closest thing I'd have to like considering a like hometown. My big concern, I have two concerns when I go back. Here's a picture of Nevada City. This is Deer Creek outside of downtown Nevada City. Deer Creek. I did see deer, by the way. I saw deer, I saw cows, I saw wild turkeys, I saw sheep, goats, etc., etc. Chickens. So here's Deer Creek. Here's mountain, peak summer. This was at like 10 a.m. It was already 90 degrees. I was suffering. I was dying. I was covered in dust. I hated it. Two things concern me when I go visit Nevada City and visit my family. One, the first one and biggest one is not pacing my parents for drinking, because that's how I get massive headaches, alcohol poisoning, and feel terrible. I did a great job this time. Only drank about a third the rate of the rest of the family. Felt wonderful. The second concern, I'm a big city fox boy. Going to my parents' rural mountain town, often for Christmas. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get entrapped in some sort of Hallmark-esque meet cute with some local cat girl. And then she'll teach me the true meaning of Christmas, and it'll be all downhill from here. That's my second biggest concern. And it's a valid concern because the Hallmark movie was filmed in this city, in this town. And so it feels very, very apropos that it's a risk I have to face. Luckily, I get around it by not talking to people. Easy. So, two concerns. Nevada City. Here's Deer Creek. Lovely. This is on Tribute Trail, which is a trail that goes from downtown Grass Valley across Deer Creek and up to Piety Hill, circling around to the SBD supermarket. Here is the cool suspension bridge you have to cross at Tribute Trail to do that full loop. We crossed it, we swung it back and forth. The goal being you, your brother, and potentially your father are crossing it. You try to step in rhythm to get some good harmonic resonance on this bridge and get it bouncing really nicely up and down, while your mother waits on the other side and does not cross the bridge because she is wise and does not want to be flung into the river, which, as you can see, consists of rocks. So, Tribute Trail, Deer Creek. I didn't take much photos. It's not much a photo trip. I've noticed with myself, if I go to places that I frequent often and have a lot of experience with, I just don't take my camera and I don't take photos. I do it sometimes. I tried with my phone, but it's like walking around Seattle. I just don't take photos. Womp womp. So here we go. That was Deer Creek. Here is the bedroom I spent many summers and winters in at my grandmother's house. I like to point out a couple features of this bedroom. One, there is a matching bed on this side. Oh, invisible error. There's a matching bed. Oh, Jesus. On this side where my brother slept. This is my uncle's old room. Now, the key feature for a tender young fox boy is if you look at these planks in the walls here, there is no attic. These planks, you can see like there's a hole there, there's a hole there, there's a hole there, there's a hole there. These are like pieces of wood my grandfather found and like made himself. So it's full of knot holes and holes. The other side of this is the roof. There's no insulation. There's no boundary layer. And so there are a lot of bugs. A lot of bugs come through these cracks, and then kind of like you have a little like your little spider friend comes down and visits you in the middle of the night as you're trying to sleep at a tender young age of 10. And then you think you see a giant spider in your bed as you're getting into it, and you freak out. You can't find the spider, and you spend the night sleeping in the chair next to the bed because, by God, you're not sleeping in a bed with a spider. That is terrifying, hypothetically. Out this window, there is a good 15-foot drop. A lot of trees. It is a forest, after all. It is a forest. So the tender bed I slept in with this exact same blanket that my grandmother made, with these same pillow shams that have been here for 40 years. The other thing, I didn't take a photo of it. So this is upstairs. Upstairs is this bedroom, and across the hall is my mom's bedrooms. This bedroom is like a base temperature of 95 degrees. In the summer, it is scorchingly hot and does not cool down because there's no insulation or lack of insulation or airflow or any sort of cooling mechanism. It is just hot. So I didn't stay here. I stayed 2 floors down in the basement on a futon. Much better, much more relaxed. Only 2 issues that came up this time. One, my parents redid and fully gutted and remodeled the basement bathroom, because before it was bad. The layout was bad. The layout was like, here's the bathroom. There's like a door here to a craft room, washer, dryer, door here to an unfinished, creepy ass basement. Like unfinished as in you could see dirt, like on this side of the wall, you could see dirt, and you could see out from underneath the front porch into like daylight. And there's like a water heater down here, another really creepy, real creepy. And then there was like a toilet right here. There was like a sink. The door went like this into here, right next to the toilet. It was all loose brick. The floor was like all just loose brick on top of concrete. Very encouraging. And then there was like right here, there was a tile shower. It's like, here's the entrance. There was like there was a tile shower. And first off, no windows. This room is dark as shit. Hella dark. And it was always full of at least a dozen spiders of various sizes and attitudes and temperaments. And it was colloquially known as the creepy bathroom. My whole childhood, this was called the creepy bathroom. My mom's childhood, it was called the creepy bathroom. So they finally demoed it. They renovated this bathroom. They opened it up. They installed, there's a window over here now. Who knew? This door here now has a glass panel, like a frosted glass panel. So you can see it. Hi, Guy Forge, welcome. I'm complaining about my family's creepy bathroom. And it has an actual floor, an actual honest to God floor. And the shower is redone, so there's like there's light. When they're doing the construction, my dad took these tiles that the shower was finished with. He took 1 tile each for my brother and I, and he mounted that tile in a picture frame and just said like creepy bathroom 1957 2024. And it is probably the best gift my father has ever made and given to me, because it symbolizes so much of a collective trauma of a childhood in a framed little subway tile. So it's redone, not creepy at all. I will mention, still full of spiders. Can't get away. You're in the mountains, baby. Live in a forest. You're getting spiders. Because this part where this is open to dirt, not solved. To the point my dad was telling me that he built like it's like a 2-acre parcel. He built a bat box in like an open area in the back. And actually here, I can show you the oh, did I take a picture of that? Not sure. Ooh. As long as the memory is scared my way, it's fine. He built a bat box, and he's so proud that he built this bat box. Like, bats are gonna nest here. I'm so friendly. And then he was like coming in here and doing something, and he stepped into the furnace area, and there was a bat in there, hanging out by the furnace, hanging out by the water heater, and he's just like, I built you a house outside. Why are you living inside? And you do the thing when you get back. So like that bedroom, this bedroom would get bats in it. Because look, you can see now they've completely redone these windows since I grew up. This window used just to be a janky double hung window. So same style of window, but there was no screen, which probably contributed to the approximately 10,000 bugs in the summer. And we definitely got a couple times when like bats would fly in and all of a sudden there'd be a bat flying around in the bedroom. And you're just like, there's a bat in here. And my brother is an animal person. He had snakes, lizards, hedgehogs, iguanas, poison dart frogs, boa constrictors, dogs, rats at some point. So a bunch Dr. Dolittle-esque. He would just calmly walk up to the bat, and he did like hummingbirds that got inside, finches that got inside, other animals. He just calmly walked up to the bat, put his hands around the bat, carried it out the window, and let it go. This, of course, being before we had the whole bats are terribly infested with rabies and you shouldn't touch a bat lifestyle. So it got better. Creepy bathroom, no more. So new bathroom is why I chose to stay here. Normally I stay with my parents up at their place. They have a lovely new guest house above their garage. But my brother was visiting from Georgia for the first time in like 6 years. First time in like 4 years, my brother was visiting from Georgia. So he got dibs on the actual like nicer house area. And it's been fine. I would have had this house to myself. Would have been great. I got a text from my mom day before I'm scheduled to fly out. She's like, so turns out the house is double booked. My friends, my best friend and his partner are gonna be there, if that's okay with you. They'll take the middle floor and you can have the basement. I'm just like, of course they're double booked. My parents are like the most social people in the world, and they just like farm. So this is my grandmother's house. My grandma died like 3 years ago. My parents have redone it and essentially turned it into a glorified guest house for their friends, to the point where sometimes their friends forget to tell them and just show up expecting a bed. And so I'm just like, I'll share the guest house with your... How's my mom? With your 66-year-old best friend who you met in ballet class when you were 5, and his partner coming up from San Francisco. In a way it worked out. It was like my parents, my brother were up at their house, and I had 2 nights down with my mom's friends. And in a way I'm like, oh, so this is the queer house, huh? Which is perfectly fine and reasonable. Because his partner, who is a very lovely Filipino man, brought like a giant galette, a fruit galette, just to eat, and he had it sitting on the counter from like apparently the place voted the best pie shop in California, Ikeda's, I think. They have like 2 locations, and like one in Davis, I think is what it was. And then I'm like, I crawled up first morning. I'm like, I have to like get up. My parents want to go for a goddamn walk at 9 a.m. I'm like bleary-eyed, dying. I'm like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see whatever monstrosity of a coffee situation is on hand up here. And her friend shuffles out of the bedroom, and he's like, Arnell's name. My partner, name bless her. Arnell comes out, or Lester comes out. It's like, Arnell's really worried about you having coffee, and he knew it was important, so he set up and made it so you had coffee when you woke up this morning. I'm just like, why are you so nice? Why are you the nicest man alive? So I had coffee made. And I bring that up because I've had some dicey ass coffee situations at my parents' house. And so one thing, they're like, oh, do you need us to buy anything from Costco or the grocery store or anything at all? And I'm like, I would like coffee, non-Keurig coffee, and please can I have a not anything that's essentially not a house of brand, not Hallmark, like the sugar-free coffee creamers that are always flavored. That's what my mom gets because she doesn't have sugar, but I'm like, they taste terrible. They taste so bad. So I had the coffee creamer. That was important. I got forced to go on a hike outside on a tribute trail. I was dying. I was absolutely dying. But then, thanks for the following. Thanks for stopping by. And then, oh my God, Nevada City. Nevada City is they took me to a bar. They took us to a bar for lunch, which had, I assume the bar, the mine shaft, not the mine shaft. Nevada City is a tiny ass town, and so I'm not going to dox. Well, I mean, I'm kind of dog. The fact that like I mentioned Nevada City at all, it's a tiny ass town, but it has like a lot of people seem to come out of it. Crazy Horse. The bar is called the Crazy Horse. Went there for lunch. They had 2 things on the menu I had my heart set on. 2 things. There was an espresso martini and deep fried cheese curds. And I'm like, I will recover. I'm in it's a dark bar, some cold water, some deep fried cheese curds, and an espresso martini. That is like the recipe to perk me back up and bring me back to life. Cheese curds, I'd say pretty good cheese curds. Not the best cheese curds. I've had cheese curds in like 2 locations. So top 10 cheese curds, just dint of life. Let me go back to my other image slide. The espresso martini though, I didn't read the description. I just saw the word espresso martini, also known as the vodka Red Bull of 30-year-old millennials. I didn't read the description. And she was carrying over this espresso martini, and I could dead-eyed across the room. I'm like, that's not the right color for an espresso martini. I didn't do my due diligence, chat. I didn't check if they had an espresso machine. I just saw espresso martini and I slammed that order button. It came out. It had no foam on it. It didn't have the traditional 3 coffee beans on it either. There was some ice in it, which was sus. A little sus. It was fine. It was fine. It was 11:30 in the morning. It was fine. But I wasn't pointed out until we were departing that it said something about Mr. Coffee. I think it was just vodka and cold coffee. Maybe not even cold brew. I think it was just coffee, cold coffee. They put ice in and vodka, and it. On the plus side, my dad paid for it, so got that going for me. It was a bit of despair. Oh, the other thing they had, my God. If anyone from the Crazy Horse is here, I apologize for nothing. My parents hyped up that they took some vegetarian friends here, or had some vegetarian friends who came to Crazy Horse, and they were raving about this cauliflower sandwich. Like, oh my God, they have this cauliflower sandwich that's so good. Such a great cauliflower sandwich. You get this cauliflower sandwich. I'm like, fine. I will try this cauliflower sandwich. I ordered it. The saving grace is what it came with tater tots and chipotle mayo. That was a saving grace of this cauliflower sandwich. It wasn't good. I'm sorry. It wasn't good. It was mid. I ate half of it, and I said, they asked if I want. It's one of those moments where like you eat half of something, you're like, that wasn't very good. And the waitress staff comes by, like, oh, would you like a box for that? And you're like, I'll take a box for it. Maybe I'll eat it later, knowing full well you're gonna leave this in your parents' fridge and skip town. This is what I did. I was just white bread, like sliced bread, which is honestly a little disappointing because normally for a mountain town of 2,000 people, Nevada City normally has pretty great food. Yeah, like. Bread can recover a mid sandwich. The cauliflower itself just wasn't very great. I'm also not a fan of cauliflower. I think I've only had cauliflower like once or twice where I'm like, I'm actually good. This was not one of those times. So it was all fine. Visiting my brother, walking this trail. First day, going great. 95 degrees out, less good. I packed an extra outfit, like, so I'm like, I'm not gonna do laundry. I'm just gonna pack 5 outfits. And what happened was I got back and like, it's like, oh, we're gonna go to dinner with some friends. And I'm like, okay, fine. I had actually just physically changed my entire outfit just because I'm sweating from the heat. I am not used to sweating. I'm not a fan of sweating. Not my favorite thing in the world. This also, we're still in Nevada City here. We're still in Nevada City. So, like, okay, dinner with their friends. My parents' friends are usually pretty reasonable. I had lovely chatting with their my mom's gay friends from San Francisco. Lovely. So okay, I'll go visit their friends. This is where it went downhill. My parents are on a campaign. This campaign's been going for several years, essentially trying to convince my brother to move from Georgia back to California. Or anywhere, really. And so part of that is they wanted to have my brother meet some people roughly his age who have similar interests. Great. Fine. That's okay. I'm like, go for it. So we go to this dinner with their friends and they're like, oh, it's at their barn. And I'm like, this is going downhill fast. This is going downhill fast. This is a meal at a barn? I don't like going outside. And they're like, oh, they have 20 acres and they have this new barn they built. It's a lovely barn. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to this dinner at this barn. I know that it's like, I've met them before, the family friends. And so the only plus side is that it was in my favorite town of Rough and Ready. So right next to Nevada City. It's the town of Rough and Ready. Which, if you didn't know, tried to secede from the United States. Good for you, Rough and Ready. Until they were uninvited from the Nevada City 4th of July parade and party because they seceded. They rejoined. Rough and Ready shows up in Humankind? No, Civilization 6. In Civilization 7, there is I think it's Civ 7. Civ 7. There is an event you can trigger from like one of the little villager huts that is based on the town of Rough and Ready. And my only solace as I sat there, as my brother and these other two young people talked about fishing and hunting and trucks and heavy equipment operating and everything. I'm just like, and then the dinner was like, they had a big barbecue. So dinner was like barbecued hanger steaks. That's the type of meat. So like barbecued hanger steaks was the main part of the meal. I'm like, I'm vegetarian. I've been living so long in Seattle that I forget that a lot of times vegetarianism isn't a consideration when also I know I'm joking, it was a guest with no how do you say choice. Like my friends are like, we're gonna go to a steakhouse. I can be like, have fun and not go. But when you're just kind of like going along with your parents' plans, you're just like, I guess I'm having a lot of salad today. It was fine. Turned out fine. I wasn't particularly hungry. I felt cheese curds from earlier. It's funny, rolled in, brand new barn, concrete floors, kind of more of like an event space in a barn, if I'm being honest. They'd have a very active dog who's running around. I'm like, please leave me alone, Mr. Dog. My brother came in, he was wearing some outdoor clothing brand t-shirt. He had his camo baseball hat on with the sunglasses on top of the hat. So the classic like hat, sunglasses, beard, or some sort of like mutton chop-esque beard situation. Ear, horrific tan line from where his hat sits. This is supposed to be the nose, I guess. There we go. I'm flattering. Sketch my brother. The guy he was meeting, who was like my parents, friends, daughters, fiance, exact same brand of shirt, almost exact same hat, same sunglasses. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. It was pretty close. It wasn't even that. I just like, I've learned with my parents, with their friends, for any of these events, I just don't bring it up. I don't be like, oh, I'm vegetarian. I can't eat any of this hanger steak. I just like get some salad. They had some grilled zucchini, and I'm like, that's good enough. That's good enough for me. I don't eat much. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I can always eat later. I'd have a cauliflower sandwich in a fridge at home if I was desperate. So it was. They did have Juanito's tortilla chips. So I just eat a lot of those tortilla chips. So it was fine. It's just like, it was a very long evening, and we were outside. We sat outside the whole time. And so we were outdoors. There was a couple of bugs. They're talking about hunting a lot and like outdoorsy things. And I'm just like, can I go home now? I just want to go home and chat with my friends on Discord and play Slay the Spire. That was the first day. Second day dawns. Second day was the family event. The second day was the driving. Oh, can I get a different color? From Nevada City to Petaluma, California, home of the Fighting Llamas. I don't think it's home of the Fighting anything. This is the main event, which I have to draw a family tree. Who doesn't see family tree? Hup. I said hup. Hup is what I said. Procreate. Don't harm me. Procreate. First off, here's a shitty photo of Sonoma County. So Petaluma's in Sonoma County. This is where I grew up. Driving around. So one of the things my dad wanted to do the day after the family event was like, oh, let's go drive around like the house you grew up in and your old high school, and like where the shop I used to run, like his like little bike. He ran a bike store for like 12 years. A bike store I owned and ran. And it's like we were driving around Sonoma County for like nostalgia thing. And it made me realize that like this place is pretty rural. So this is what Sonoma County looks like. So you can see the fog. Here's the fog on the horizon. Fog rolls in at about 4 p.m. every day. Burns off and rolls out at about 10 a.m. This is taken from Highway 101 in Petaluma. You can see here there's like, oh, look at all these cow fields. There's some cow fields. There's a building right here. Very exciting. You can see here's like the coastal foothills. The landscape I grew up in. It's brown, very brown. Popular color brown. Brown and then this shade of green. There's like this dusty shade of green. It's not running terribly well here. Of like the dusty ass oak trees on the hills is like, this is the color of my childhood. It's like this shade of brown and this shade of green. Blue sky, gray fog. Welcome to Stan's childhood. And the smell of manure. We were in the town I grew up in, which is called Katati. The town of Katati I grew up in. We were there looking at like for breakfast, for brunch, at a brunch place with my with a different family friend who's a jeweler, and his girlfriend. I'll say girlfriend. And as we were walking through the parking lot, we just got this smell of fresh manure just like wafted over us, and it's like, that's the smell of childhood. That's the smell of childhood. It was like the temperature, it had the blue skies, it had some of like the same like parking lots I'd walk through on the way home from school, smell of manure on the wind. I'm like, I don't miss it. I don't miss it one bit. And that was the funny bit. That was the funny part. Driving around like my old high school, the house I grew up in, all these things. My dad's like, oh, isn't it nostalgic of all these, like, we used to live there, we used to live there. He had a lot of nostalgia for it because that's where he lived, like his young adult life was in these places. But for me, I'm just like, yeah, man, I grew up here, but like, I don't have any nostalgia for it. Like, I have no wistful, like, oh, let me think of those fond memories when I walked home 2 miles from school, when I sat at home and played Shadowbane or StarCraft or Diablo 2 or World of Warcraft and had very, like, didn't really have any deep, meaningful friendships. Oh yeah. Great memories, great nostalgia, loved it. It's like, no, man, sorry, Pops, no nostalgia for me. So this is, it keeps on the screen here. So the family event. This is what I was worried about. This is the first time home. Well, on one side, my initial plan was I was going to paint my nails for this event, but my one of my nails was too damaged, so I did not paint my nails, which is probably for the best. It might have been too much for everybody, but I was a little worried because this is the first family event going to since shaving and lasering off most body hair, and my family is on the moderately furry side for the body hair front, for both genders. And so I was wearing a t-shirt, I was wearing shorts, so it was clearly obvious that, like, I did not have the same level of body hair that everyone else did. And I expected someone to say anything about it, but the only comments I actually got were the fact that I was hella pale. I forget about this because I live inside in Seattle and I don't go outside. The rest of my family is pretty tanned and like pretty like light brown in color. And it's like, I'm rocking up there. I'm this shade. Well, like everyone else is like, more like that shade. Just hand. It's a little bit of Mexican heritage coming through. There was a pool, but nobody went in the pool. Thank God. So, oh God, Procreate. There's a couple tradition and family events that have died off now that everyone is older. It used to be everyone would go in the swimming, and it used to be that everybody would throw everybody into the pool at one point or another. Children, adults, if you were sitting in a chair, the entire chair would be picking up with you in it and tossed into a body of water. And so for this, we'll get into the, like, this is the family tree aspect that's important for context. But no, there was a pool. No one was thrown in. We were trying to get all right, so pool. We have but grandpa plus wife at the top here. There are 4 children. Sand mom. Then we had Uncle 1 plus wife. Uncle 2 plus husband. Aunt plus uncle. It was their house. She's the youngest. And then my parents have 2 kids. Bro and Sanish. Uncle has 2 kids. Cousin 1. Cousin 2. Cousin 1's wife couldn't make it, but he has 3 kids. 1 made it. Cousin 2 made it late, him plus wife, and they brought 1 of their 2 kids. Uncle and his husband have no children, for hopefully mildly obvious reasons. Then my aunt and uncle each had 3 kids, cousin plus wife, plus a baby, like pretty fresh baby. It's like a couple month old baby. Cousin plus girlfriend, new, she's new. Cousin plus boyfriend, new. So we had two people who are like new to the family. So this is like their first family get together. How many people this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 people. 24 people in the backyard. So this is about right for a family gathering. This is the Irish Catholic coming through in some ways. But it was a large group. And I, generally speaking, don't. I get along fine, but I don't have much in common with my actual like blood relations. I got in a lot much better with cousin one wife, new girlfriend, new boyfriend. The wild part, cousin one's kid, he's 15, 6'5". Absolutely, just this kid is giant at 15 years old. But it's I think it was everybody. It's me right there. These two all live in Seattle as well. They moved up here 3, 4, 5 years ago. Never saw them once in Seattle. Never met up with them. Sorry, family. I already got my friends. I don't need family, I guess. So they'd be like, notoriously growing up, my dad to some extent, but Uncle 1, Uncle 2, Uncle 3, these three jokers together would terrorize and throw all of us, this whole cousin layer, they'd be the one throwing us into different bodies of water growing up because they were bigger than us. We were children. We were little children, and they'd be like, hop, hop, toss us into some water. A lot of us learned to swim quickly because we were being thrown into bodies of water that were too deep for us to stand up in. Isn't that great? Then there was a turning point when we all turned like, when some started hitting like 15, 16, and then we could start throwing the uncles in ourselves, the tables turned a bit and it got like even footing in this war, this intergenerational war. And now that everyone is like, all the uncle level is like, these are all, everyone in this layer is like 60 plus, and everyone in this layer is now like 30 to 40. The throwing into bodies of water has dropped down quite a bit, thankfully. I was never a fan of being thrown into water. I just wanted to quietly read my Forgotten Realms book on the side of the pool in whatever family event it was and just enjoy my Elaine Cunningham. Thank you very much. Sadly, this time that was not an option and I had to socialize. They played cornhole. Cornhole is popular this year. Namely this cousin section had cornhole set up and we're like cornhole ringers and we're just beating everybody. Again, the food was barbecue and the options were hamburgers or chicken. And I'm like, I ate more salad. It was fine. It was fine. It was just long. It was long. It went to like, we left the house at 9. We got there at 11:30. So we arrived at 11:30 a.m. and we left at like 10:30 p.m. So we got there at 11. So we left the house at 8. Oh, we left at 8:30. So it was like 14 straight hours of being a family, which is more than I want to spend with anybody. Initially, they're going to be like, oh, you and your brother can, you two, oh, we'll pay for a hotel room and you and your brother can share it. And I'm like, no. I got my own hotel room, and I did. I got my own hotel room because I'm an adult, and I don't want to share my hotel room with nobody. There are 0 people on God's green earth who I want to share a hotel room with. And That's it. That's the end of the sentence. Only under extreme duress, emergency situations, but otherwise I'm not going to willingly plan ahead to share a hotel room. Sorry. Crush the dreams of everybody. That was the family event. It's done. I don't have to go back for another couple years. It's like, they're all nice, but like, there's this moment at the end where it's like everyone was gathered around, sitting in the dark outside because it's so warm out. And when this happens, the family turns it like it always becomes, let's retell past family stories, mostly of my dad's and uncles and aunts' generation. Let's retell those stories, sitting around in a circle, or stories from when we were like kids and don't remember it. Which in some ways it felt like, one, a little bit boring because I've heard all these stories before, but also it felt kind of like a fairly human experience of like, let's all gather around the fire in the cave and tell stories. If only they weren't the same stories. I guess for new people, I guess for a new boyfriend and new girlfriend, they would have been new stories about the family you just got involved in. But for some of us, it's like, the same stories we hear every Thanksgiving or every Christmas or every Easter. And it's like, I don't need to hear about the time you threw cheese slices got stuck on the ceiling, or the time my brother dumped a fireplace full of ashes onto me, or the time that they found my cousin eating dog food. Like, I don't need to hear the stories again. One terrifying fact I did learn: cousin 2 on this right here. I can't see my mouse. This cousin who wasn't here, apparently, due to logistics, he was home alone. Like, these 3 came back from some soccer tournament in Davis or something. But he's like an 8-year-old boy, 10-year-old boy. He's being babysit something. So he's eating pizza and candy. But my cousin's like, oh, he's got a gaming PC. And I'm like, gaming PC? What games is he playing? And it's like, Roblox, Fortnite. I'm like, no, little cousin. Why are you playing Roblox and Fortnite? Not like this. Not like this. Sad days. That's the most video game, the closest to common interest in my family. It's like cousins, kid. So far away. It's so far away. No one else really plays video games. My brother, I think, plays Halo, and that's it, solely Halo. And then like, one of these heard about video games and knew the company I worked at. That's the end of the list. Not a really video game heavy family. Not a video game heavy family. Zero anime. I got nothing. At least with like my mom's friends, we could talk about traveling to Japan and living in cities. That was fine. That was lovely. I'll talk about traveling to Japan anytime, anywhere. Not the rest of this. Not the rest of these. Rest of this family. Okay, there we go. So that was my family trip. Day 4 is a long time. What did we do? Got back. Oh, that was like the nostalgia drive home, visiting the family's friend. Then we went to a Mexican place for dinner. That was fine. Oh, that was like, I only had like, up until then, I only had like 3 hours of alone time, like alone downtime, the whole trip. So I had a moment where I was like, I'm just going to sit in the downstairs in the dark and be quiet and alone for a little bit. And that was lovely. I needed that downtime. It was great. So that is, and then I flew back in Seattle, public transit, got home, and I'm just like, getting home was like such a feeling of relief, of like, it made me appreciate the life I had built for myself so much more, having been away from it with family, with like how other people live, and seeing that and being just like, oh my God, the life I built for myself is the life I want. Well, up until the point where any fox girl or cat girl heiresses who have inherited, let's say, a couple $1 million and own a very large house in the North Seattle area are looking for a stay-at-home fox boy, do let me know. I'm in the market. Catch me in the produce section of your local supermarket. One day. Waiting for that meet cute. That's as much effort as I'm putting into that train of thought. So that was past travel. So that was the traumatic California trip. All done. Bye bye. During this trip, I got hit by. I thought I was done traveling. I have a trip to Japan in October. But on this trip, I got invited by friends. This is the wrinkle that thrown to me, to join them for a trip to Vietnam. It's their 40th birthday, and so they're doing a big trip to Vietnam, and they're inviting me along for part of it. And I'm like, okay. Do I want to go? That's my struggle this week is, do I want to actually join them on this trip to Vietnam? Do I want to go to Vietnam? Southeast Asia was not on my list of places to go. And so I've been spending all week looking at Vietnam, trying to decide, do I want to go on this trip? Conversely, I'm turning 40 next year. And I'm like, well, what do I have a bucket list of things I want to do? And does that conflict with this Vietnam trip? Which made me realize that, yes, there's one bucket list item, and it's I want to go see the Aurora Borealis. And that's always, I've wanted to do that for like 20 years, 30 years I've wanted to see the Aurora Borealis. I've never done it. So I'm like, I'm turning 40. I should go see, or try to go see the Aurora Borealis. And so that has led me to a second trip planning to go to Tromsø, Norway. And the reason that I can't put this off is we are at the tail end of solar maximum. Let's have a quick divergence to talk about the solar cycle, everybody. Buckle in, kids. We're learning some astrophysics. The sun is a ball of incandescent gas. Actually, plasma, but so we have the sun. Here's the sun. Here's the sun. There's the sun. The sun has what's called the solar cycle. On the sun are sunspots. Sunspots. And the sunspots rotate with the sun. So the sun rotates. The sun rotates about its axis once every like 24 days or something. And so sunspots come and go. Sunspots are the result of magnetohydrodynamics and essentially the magnetic field of the sun getting twisted up into knots and breaking free. Because what happens is the sun is rotating. It has differential rotation. So in the core of the sun, here's the profile of the sun. If we do a slice of the sun has layers like an onion, like Shrek. And in the core of the sun, we get magnetic fields form. Magnetic fields. Sorry, wrong color. Magnetic fields clearly are blue. My playlist is flipped. Oh, she's doing this on loop for an hour? No, thank you. Up. We'll come back to it. So we have the solar, we have the magnetic field of the sun is from the core. But we have something in space physics called the frozen-in field theory. I think it's curl of B is 0. Is that the frozen-in field theory? I don't think that's frozen field. That's just the divergence of a magnetic field to 0. Haha! Thanks, Maxwell. Essentially, there is no friction in space. So if you are a plasma, God, I can't be going down this road. If you're a plasma and you're, say there's a magnetic field line. And you are a happy little electron. You're living your best electron life. You're flying around, except for Maxwell and his naughty equations, you are going to be, and you're trying to go this way, you're going to rotate around the magnetic field line. All nice, all great. The funny thing about collisionless plasmas in space is the rotating electron itself creates a magnetic field. And so if the coupling between the two means if this electron gets pushed to the side, then the whole magnetic field gets pushed to the side. Likewise, if the magnetic field gets pushed to the side, there's resistance from the electron itself getting pushed aside. So what happens with old sunny sun here, the sun's rotating, but it's a differential rotation. So the plasma at the surface here is rotating really fast, or really slow compared to the core. And so the magnetic field that starts here, starts out going up, but then it starts getting twisted up as it's getting pushed here, and then kind of keeps getting deformed, and it gets knotted up. And those knots eventually break through in sunspots and solar flares. So you get like solar flares forming out of these guys. And these are what cause or contribute to the aurora borealis. This whole cycle of tangling up takes about 22 years, about 11 years on a cycle. What that means is the number of sunspots, we'll get back to Vietnam in a second. Well, whatever. Sunspots. Over time, looks like this. It goes up and down. When you're down here, we have solar minima. No aurora. And here, solar maxima. Yay, aurora. We are sitting, well, we are right here. We're about to downturn in the, we're about to take a downturn in the solar cycle, which means it's either go now to go see the aurora, or wait 8 years, or wait 8 years for right here. So this is 26, or wait until, what's that going to be, like 2033? And so I have to go now. Well, not now, but like in the next 12 months to go to Tromsø. That leaves me with a tough decision. The other consideration, Vietnam, is where and when to go see the aurora. One, it has to be nighttime. Sorry, spoiler alert, has to be nighttime. Further, you need to be in the Arctic Circle. So here's Earth. So here's the Earth. It's just chilling. We rotate this way. Our magnetic, we rotate like this. We are spin down. Rotate this way, but our magnetic field like this. Our magnetic field is somewhere in Russia. Somewhere in Siberia is where the current magnetic field is pointing. The rotational axis is processing around somewhere. But we have our magnetic fields come out. Yeah, magnetic fields. They do this dipole format. Very exciting. Aurora happen when solar particles essentially impinge on our magnetic field, and they generally come down from above. On the magnetic fields, we'll get. I'm not gonna here's the solar wind comes in, and then we get actually not the shape at all. The solar wind comes in like this. Here's the Earth. And then we get the magnetic fields go like this as there's like solar wind pressure. And then there's a phenomenon called magnetic reconnection. And we have a magnetotail like this. And what eventually happens is our magnetic tail pinches off, and we get a rubber band rebound effect, and it comes through, as aurora. The point, though, is it does not come back at the North Pole. If you're looking top down the Earth, here's the hidden layer. If we're coming top down on the Earth, here's the Earth. Here's magnetic north. Here's the magnetic field lines. It comes down about 5 to 10 degrees off of north in the Arctic Circle. So you don't actually want to be at the North Pole. You want to be about, I don't know, 5, 10 degrees off from North Pole in terms of latitude, which is why Svalbard, bad. North Pole, bad. The top two places to go to see the Aurora Borealis, not the Australis, because that's in the South Pole, Antarctica, and no one wants to go there. Terrible place. Here's our way. Is Tromsø, or North Sweden, or way over here. We got the Canada coming down to the eastern seaboard. We got Florida, or Fairbanks. Fairbanks, Alaska, or Tromsø, Norway are the two places to go to see the Aurora Borealis. I don't want to go to Fairbanks. For one, the flights to go from Seattle to Fairbanks are the same cost to go from Seattle to Tromsø. I'm like, no offense, Alaska. Norway sounds more fun. So I've been penciling out this trip to Tromsø all week. And it's like, it'd be a January, February-esque trip. You want to be in the middle of the nighttime, in the darkness. You do aurora chasing where you go on this van and they're like, look guys, weather on Tromsø might not be good. We're going to drive east until we find good weather. Often driving into Finland to find good weather. Like, bring your passport. We're not sure it's going to go. We're hunting auroras. And so I want to do a photography trip to go see the aurora. I'm turning 40, it's on my bucket list. And also it might not happen, so I need to go back in the future. Blah, 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 blah. Tromsø, aurora. Aurora. Skyrim. Skyrim-ass landscapes. So those are the pros of Tromsø. Cons. Pro. Con. Hella cold. Expensive. Like I'm looking at like probably $450 a night. Is my budget for plus, I don't know, $900 for the flights. Spendy. It's spendy to go to old Norway. Who knew? Most hotels. Who knew? Vietnam now. So looking through, and like I make a little itinerary. I have a spreadsheet. In my mind, what I consider to be my crazy man spreadsheet. I have a way to plan trips that is just like how I think about these things. I'm not going to show it. Too risky. So it'd be like a 4 or 5 day trip to Norway and then coming back. Because I like my home. That's what it comes down to. And I don't really want to travel around the rest of Europe in the winter because that sounds like it sucks. So Vietnam. I got invited to Vietnam. My friends are going for like they're doing like a 5-week trip and they're saying you can join any part you want. But Vietnam is the longest segment in the middle. And there's some pros. There's some cool things. My challenge is there's some cool things in Vietnam. Pros. I've been prevaricating on this for the last like 7 days and I don't have a decision. Pros. You can travel with friends. Isn't that nice? Pros, travel with friends, sure. Vietnam is cheap. Like 3 weeks in Vietnam is going to be the same as 5 days in Tromsø. For that, like day-to-day stuff. Cool tours. Nice. I don't know. No, 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 no. Clear. Oh, I had box select. Clear. On it's over. Yep. Okay, cons. Travel with friends. Travel with friends is a con. I've not traveled with many or any of these friends, so that's a one con. Cons is too adventurous. I'm not sure how adventurous I actually am. 24-hour transit time. It would be a 24 hours door to door from leaving my place to arriving at a hotel in Hanoi. That's a long time to be traveling for little old me. 24-hour transit time, pretty rough on that front. Cons, hot. I don't know if it's hot. It'd be in February. So cool tours. Oh, uncomfortable, honestly. Mainly for this tour, there's a 4-day motorbike tour in Yang. I don't know how to pronounce Vietnamese, which is part of the problem. Is I don't know much about Vietnam. Which the 4-day motorbike tour, it sounds super cool, but also super uncomfortable. My friend was like, have you ridden on a motorbike? Like, it's uncomfortable. Cons. Do I like travel? This is the one I've been struggling with. Do I actually like traveling? Or am I doing it just to check some like external expectation box on myself? That's what I don't know. Tromsø, this is working for me because my goal is to see the aurora. And that's a geophysical phenomenon. I'm on board for that. Vietnam does have a lot of cool landscape. No scuba. Surprisingly, no scuba diving. That would have been a selling point. There's some other cons in there. There's a bunch of cons. And so I'm like, I could do both. I could do like Tromsø in January and Vietnam in February and blow up my travel budget for like a year and a half. My travel budget and my emotional budget. It's a lot of travel though. It's a lot of travel. And I don't like coming up with Tromsø list. I had like a 4-day itinerary and I easily filled it up by finding things to do. I don't have that with Vietnam. I'm struggling to find a list of things I'd want to do in Vietnam that aren't like, go look at some cool mountains. Go take a boat and look at some cool rock formations in the water. Go look at this cool forest. Eat some food. Go to this other place, eat some food. And I'm like, I'm not that food. I'm not like super, okay. Pro, pastries. Lot of pastries and cinnamon rolls promised in Tromsø. I don't have much exposure to Vietnamese food. I've had a couple banh mi's in my life and I thought they were mid. I've had some vermicelli noodles before that didn't leave an impression. I've had a tofu bowl at one place. But one, being vegetarian might impact this. 2, look, I'm gonna throw my hot take right here. Banh mi's aren't very good. There, I'm saying banh mi's not great. Not a good sandwich. They are an actively bad sandwich. I'm gonna stand by that. I will die on that soapbox. It's like a hard bread that hurts your teeth to bite into and makes all of the ingredients splurt out the sides. Bad sandwich. Bad sandwich, and they should feel bad. Pros of Vietnam. And so I don't know if I actually like, am I being just oversold by travel with friends? And is that what I'm looking at here versus like the actual locations? The thing that's killing me is really this 24-hour, the plane logistics sound awful. And also the potentially, are some of the things too adventurous? I don't know. At least I could eat the cauliflower sandwich. And I've told friends that I think banh mi's are mid, and they've took me to the quote unquote best banh mi place in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it was okay. It was fine. It was just fine. That's my hot take about banh mi's. If you think you can convince me else, if you think you can be like, this banh mi from this place in Seattle will change my mind, let me know. Otherwise, I stand by that statement. Part of me wants to go to Vietnam to have the best banh mi in Vietnam and to reaffirm they're just okay. My hot take, my banh mi hot take. I'm gonna get canceled for not liking banh mi's. But like coming up here and being like, boba tea's overrated and rum is not very good. So I'm torn. The main tear is I've kind of sold myself on Tromso. Vietnam is set February timeframe. I don't know if I can do both. I don't know if I can do both. Travel with friends sounds fun. And the friends I'm traveling with are very good at picking out and finding good food in restaurants. But hearing about some of their other trips they've taken, they might be more adventurous in food and restaurants than I am. Prices are trying to get there. I keep getting stuck on the goddamn plane travel time. It would require like a 7-hour layover in Taipei on coming home. And I'm just like, I'm not about 7-hour plane layovers. The motorbike ride sounds both cool and also might be miserable. Weather depending. And it requires a domestic flight to get from Hanoi to Da Nang. Oh. So I'm still debating it. I don't have to decide right now, but I want to decide soon so I can start booking this guy over here. My solo trip to Aurora Town. Oh yeah, hella cold. That's the big one right there. It is in fact going to be hella cold. I don't know. Vietnam was never on my bucket list. I had Japan on there. Well, going back to Japan, I had Aurora. I'd go back to Paris. I'd go back to Scotland. I'm going to the Australia 2028 eclipse. I'd go someplace that had good scuba diving. That sounds fun. I'd go to Costa Rica. I like Costa Rica. Go to Peru. So, but travel bucket list has not really included many like tropical or semi-tropical locations. Just because like I don't like heat. I don't like hot. I don't like sweating. I'm not an outdoors person. I honestly don't know if I'm a travel person. I've done it a fair bit in my life, and I'm like, do I actually like this? Do I like this? I like the photography part of it. I like the photography part of it, but do I like the rest? I don't know. I'll debate it. I'll spend another week looking things up for Vietnam to decide if I can fill up an itinerary for just myself, like a solo itinerary to Vietnam. That'll be enough to convince me to go. Because I don't want to just be like following my friends around the whole time, using them as like giving them the labor of planning the full trip. I want to be able to contribute to the plan and have things of my own. That's important for me. Because if I want to just hang out with my friends, I can do that here. I don't have to go to Vietnam to hang out with my friends. right? I can just go to a sushi restaurant, or just be like, hey, let's go to this other bar. Let's go play Slay the Spire. Let's have a land co-op. Let's do white person taco night together. Like, I can do that. I can do that at home. I don't need to go places to do that. I'll go to Mexico. Mexico sounds like a cool place to go. So this is my indecision. This is where I'm stuck with indecisions. On top of this, I have an entire interior design indecision going on as well. I got a plan back from my interior designer, the finished plan for how to redo the inside of my condo, and now I need to create a work plan, call contractors, do all the bits, figure out what parts I want to do, what parts I want to skip, buy a bunch of furniture, and make all those decisions. I'm just thinking extreme decision fatigue is what's happening. And I'm like, I don't want to make more decisions, but I need to just make them and be done with them and commit. So that's what it's all about. It's all about here. I'm not sure about Vietnam. Maybe I'll meet with my friends probably tomorrow, talk about it. Because tomorrow, I'm going to the Ren Fair. I got my dress ready. I got my shoes. I got my accessories. I got my little parasol. I've prepped the necessary body prep for the cosplay outfit. I just need to be ready in the morning to be driven to the Ren Fair. It's very exciting. It's not going to be hot and dusty tomorrow. I'm so excited. I am so thrilled that there's a chance of rain and it's going to be a bit on the cooler side, so I'm not sitting in a dusty ass field. I'll definitely talk about the Ren Fair more next chatting stream when we get back from it. Family trip, check. On my list here. Vietnam, check. Tromso, I don't really talk about Tromso very much. My itinerary for Tromso is essentially land, sign up for an Aurora chasing tour, putz about for the day, eat a bunch of pastries, maybe do a dog sled or a snowmobile or a snowshoe an excursion, look at some architecture, eat more pastries, go on another Aurora excursion, return to Seattle. That's the plan for Tromso. It's very, very singular focused. I'll invite friends if anyone wants to go, with the expectation that 0 people will want to join me, because it will be dark the whole time. Haha. That's about it. That's about all I got for this little shorting stream. I will share one thing. Hands in my mouth. Move my iPad aside. I took the so last chatting stream we drew the low poly Sanish model, and let me I was only doing a little bit of this so big. I was only doing a little. I was able to get a little bit of this done before I had to go to California. Oh my god, my screen's so wide. It's above me. There you go. So I got my turnarounds from here. And I started to model out a low poly Sanish model based on those turnarounds. I got to the torso, and then the hood's not done yet. You can see no hood. Womp womp. But the sweater's done, more or less. The sweater's done. I got the shoes. I got the legs. So I need to do the sweater arms and hands. I got to do the sweater hood and the back, and then work on to the head and the hair. I was trying to do these for kind of before work. I was getting into the habit of doing a little bit each day, but then what happened was I left for a week, and I haven't gotten back on this the 3D modeling train yet. Sadly, honestly, the modeling part has been pretty fun. What's not going to be fun is UV unwrapping and UV painting. I'm not looking forward to that. That part of it. Pain. So I want to give an update on that project. The goal, of course, for this being try not to have some fun. That's the goal. Ooh, 1%. Whoa. Second, I think I just froze OBS. Wow, capturing that Blender window crashed OBS. My goodness. Well, you know what? Whatever. So that was the update for that project. It was a minor update. I want to get back into it. I've adopted too many hobbies and I'm falling behind and I need to catch up to them, which is why, hopefully, get laid off next week. Solve that problem. Problem done. That's why travel is getting in the way of all my little hobbies. Who put these hobbies here? Who did all this? But that's going to be it for today's chatting stream. Thank you for joining me as I went through my past travel and family traumas and then went on to my current deep prevarications and indecisions. I'm trying my best to not inflict too much on my friends, but I have a habit of inflicting these on the people around me, hence this stream. So my next stream is more Dark Souls 3 on Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Then I'll get a schedule out at some point for the following week, probably on Monday. And I'll have another chatting stream in a week or two when I feel I have enough to chat about, is what it usually comes down to. And then what am I looking at calendar? Probably maybe next Friday. We'll see. Thank you all for joining. I'm Sanders VTuber, and this has been a lovely chatting stream, and I'll catch everybody next time I stream. Bye everybody. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Farewell.